All right, I've got the carburetor off of the tank. I've took fresh gasoline and swished it around in there a couple of times to clean out the old gas that was pretty thick and oily looking, and got it out and hit that area with carburetor cleaner. It's drying out, and we'll install probably a new diaphragm and gasket. I'm going to be installing this new primer bulb because that one is all pink and decrotted, and to do that I'm using real Briggs Stratton tools. This is the tool that you use to put the new bulb in. When you place it on the side of the carburetor, then you're able to press down on it like that and use the heel of your hand and push down. We'll get into that later. First we have to get this one out, and Briggs makes a tool like this which does that. And if you work on a lot of mowers, I recommend you get these just to make life easier for you. You can use a screwdriver. I did that for a while, but then decided to get these tools. They aren't that expensive if you work on mowers a lot. So let me set the camera in the holder, and let's go to work on this little carburetor. And get a new primer bulb installed. I'll be looking at this carburetor some more later, but I want to get started on this bulb first. So what you do is you get your handy tool here, and it's going to go on the little ears on there. So I'm holding this, making sure I've got it in the right spot. So right there, then on the other side, same thing. So I'm gonna squeeze this a little and then try and go back and forth this way to free up the old stuff. And it's starting to move. Okay, now I'm gonna grab it more towards the bottom and wiggle and then start pulling up. And you can see some of the pink starting to show where it's releasing. This side is not releasing, so let me concentrate on it a little bit. And usually one side comes up before the other one, and that's okay. So wiggling around, squeezing this thing. And sometimes this stuff will break, you know, the plastic will break because it's old. And you don't really care about that too much. You just want to be able to get it off of there. So I'm squeezing and twisting. Okay, and now at a certain point, it's really coming loose. I'm going to get one of my small screwdrivers where I've got it started and slip that in there. Okay, and now I've got enough to where I can push on it, I think. Because you've gotten it loose, at least on one side. So let me try this one again. It's still not coming up. There we go. Okay, now while that pink is showing, see, I'm gonna stick that screwdriver in there now. Oops, it slipped on me, but I think it's still up. Yeah, I can see enough of a gap there where I can get it under there now. And now I can push up on it. Slide over to this side, push up on that. And now come around this side, do it over here. And eventually this thing starts to come loose. There we go. Okay. It's still holding on one side. This thing had a lot of dirt on it, so it's, let me see if I can grab it now. Okay, so that's the old one coming off of there. Let me get the dirt and debris out. It's fairly clean under there, that's good. I've certainly seen worse. Let me run this little screwdriver blade around in there. Really, I'm just trying to get dirt out now. Okay, now this is important. When these have been sitting around for so long, you want to get, you know, one of your little tools here that is narrow, like a fairly sharp point. This one may not be sharp enough, but so there's your carburetor, and you see that green gasket there is it's a check valve system. So when you push the primer bulb, this steel ball sits on a spring and moves out of the way unless the fuel passed it. If that little spring and that little ball get rusty, it won't let the fuel pass. So what I'm doing now is checking. I'm checking to see if this is going to compress. So I'm going to put it right on top of the steel ball, and it's going in and out nicely. So that's not rusted, it's not corroded. So I think that's going to be okay. So now I think I can put my new bulb on. And what I do with mine, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to put a drop of oil there on that ear and a drop of oil there on that ear to make this job a little easier. So we're going to do one drop there, turn it over, and one drop on this ear. Okay, so now you find the slots, and that's where the ears are going to go in. Line that up. And now this is where you use the other tool. So this Briggs tool is going to go like this. That gap is going to fit on top of the ear. And now you start to ease down. See, this is where that drop of oil helps you. So pushing, 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 wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I'm starting to go down. Let me look at the other side. Still make sure that the little ears are in the gaps where they belong. You can twist this if they're not and turn them if it needs to. Okay, so now we're getting better. It's easing into the right spot. You gotta sometimes really push on this thing. I'll show you my little trick here at the end. This is designed to be pushed by the palm of your hand. And that's just fine and dandy, but what I do, once I've got it seated pretty well, then I'll tap on it and get it seated. And that looks good. That looks good. I'm going to tap it one more time. Okay, I think that's going to be okay. So there's our new bulb. So let me set this down upside down like that. Get my tools out of the way. I usually save a lot of stuff, but that corroded bulb is not going to be saved. You could save this piece if you thought you might need it in the future. And so I'll set that over there just in case I need one day. Oh. All right, so now we can look at reinstalling this carburetor. I'm going to need a new diaphragm and gasket. We're going to take that on in a minute. Let me see, I don't want to make this segment too long. So stay tuned, we'll come back for the next one. Saving Vicki.